What's going on, everybody? This is Victor Dean, Mustang Specialties Performance. We had a transmission up on the table, as you can see today. We got the torque converter back from Circle D this morning, so she has a clean bill of health. We're gonna go ahead and get everything changed and installed and get her back in the car so we can get back going. We're going to discuss three things about the transmission that we actually changed or checked to ensure that when we get it back together, the car be in tip-top shape. The first thing will be the front seal, and we're going to discuss the thermal bypass and the torque converter. So without further ado, let's go. The front seal, which is often referred to as the front pump seal, was one of the first things we changed. And if you guys can tell, it is this piece right here, this black looking piece around the inside the front of the pump. So this is the old seal. Now, it didn't look quite this bad while it was in the transmission. So if you guys can see, they typically have a spring inside that holds pressure. And even though this one has been a little bit, when I first took it out, you can see that the spring itself was a tad bit worn. So it may have been causing the leaking problems we were having. Nothing special about changing it. We have just a regular seal puller. I think I got this one from Advanced Auto or O'Reilly, one or the other. It has two different sizes. Just different size seals, nothing special. And without sticking the old seal back in, all you simply do is the old seal sits in just like the new one. You take the seal puller, get behind it, and just quickly bump it out. Nothing hard, super easy job. Mechanically wise, I would rate that as maybe a 1. Now you can also do it with a screwdriver. You just have to be a little more careful using the screwdriver so you don't actually scratch up the front pump, your input shaft, or anything like that. So be cautious if you're using a screwdriver. Like I said, you can get a seal puller from AutoZone or O'Reilly, any local power store for maybe $15 to $20 if it costs that much. The thermal bypass. So that was something that we really didn't need to change, but I chose to change it because I'm just one of those type of guys, you know. It would potentially help the transmission run a little cooler, and you know, just having beating on the car, racing, doing a lot of hard abuse to it, just having everything run a little cooler is just a little better for you. Now, it's not gonna run 100 degrees cooler or something like that, but 20-30 degrees, you know, just helps with the longevity of the equipment. And to do that, you have to do a couple of things. The first thing is to remove the actual transmission pan and the valve body. But even before we get to doing that about the thermal bypass, we needed to do that also because we were doing a service on the transmission while we had it out. So we were going to change the fluid and replace the filter. So with these newer transmissions like this, the 6R8 and up, and even before that maybe, they have a thermal bypass in them. And what it does is, it's kind of like a thermostat in the engine. So the fluid doesn't actually go to the transmission cooler until it reaches a certain temperature. Then the thermal bypass allows it to bypass and go to the cooler, so it will cool the fluid. But this new thermal bypass, what it did is it let the fluid start bypassing a little earlier, just like if you went from a 180 degree thermostat to a 170 degree thermostat in your engine cooler, start circulating through the radiator a little sooner. So, first things first, we're going to show you how we remove the actual valve body. Tilt the camera up a little bit, bam. Now, when I was doing this, I actually had the transmission laying on its side. It was just a little easier for me to drain the fluid and everything with it like that, but I've done it already, so I'm going to go ahead and just take it off the way it sits. So there are 21 bolts, and they're all 8 millimeter. Just take your time, take them out, and you can get the transmission pan off. When it comes off, the seal is reusable. It says it on the pan. All you have to do is clean it up, clean your pan out, and you can reuse it. So go ahead and set that to the side. Alright, next thing is your valve body. And I don't think you guys can see it good, so I'm going to remove the valve body. we have 11 actual bolts. And the easiest way to tell them is the bolts that remove the valve body and not disassemble the valve body itself, the ones just to remove the valve body from the transmission, are Torx 30 heads. You guys can see this. The other valve body bolts are smaller, so you shouldn't be able to get your Torx 30 in these other bolts. There should be 9 across the top here, and there are 3 at the very back. So there are 9 across the top, and you have 3 at the very back. Now, the way you can tell the front from the back are the ones that actually go in the valve body, and the other ones. The ones in here are about, I guess, 2 to 3 inches long, well, 3.5. So the ones that go in the back are maybe an inch or so. So they're about a quarter of that size, maybe a third. So you shouldn't be able to mix that up. But once you get all 9 out and the 3 out across the back, the next step is to loosen this tab. And this tab simply allows you to remove what's called the bulkhead. So you pull this tab up, you just simply grab it, pull up. And then you take a set of pliers, grab the connector, just take your time and simply work it out. That's all. Nothing hard, no real hard force, and you sit it over to the side. So once you've done that, the valve body just simply picks up. Remove it, sit it over to the side. So your thermal bypass is right here. It's right here. Just grab it. Now this is the new thermal bypass that I'm installing. The old one actually looks a little different. This is the old one. It comes with the spring. So if you were to install this one back in the transmission, it would just go spring down, sleeve, and then slide straight back into the same hole. But that's about it on that. So for me, once I got my thermal bypass in, I will go ahead, put my valve body back in, torque the bolts back down, put my bulkhead connector back in, snap it back in place, lock it, put my pan back on, and that's basically it. Then I can go ahead, I'm gonna wait to put the converter back in until I get the transmission actually under the car, because it's kind of heavy, trying to move it around like this. And then go ahead and get it back in the car, get it back going, and see if we have any leaks, and let you guys know. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, just let me know. I'll do the best I can to get an answer for you. Thank you.